back, and we're moving into our final conversation for today, where we are joined by recent recipient of a Taiwanese scholarship, Damari Tesikoma. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Marlene.
It is so lovely to see you again, Damari. How are you doing?
Thank you. I am doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, you're in Corozal right now?
No, I am at home in San Jose Village or in Joac District.
Okay. So, Damari, let's just step back and help people learn a bit more about you, because it'll really put into perspective just how big this achievement is as well. Tell us about your story.
So in 2010, I was electrocuted and I received extensive burn wounds all over my body. I had second and third degree burns, and I had to be taken to the US for further treatment. There I lost a leg, my left leg, and a finger. And after that, I had to receive extensive therapy. And after 4 months, I came back home. And a couple years after, I was featured in News 5. It was a great opportunity for me.
Yeah. Damari, I remember your story, and in fact, the burn care unit was instrumental in getting you out to Shriners. You spoke of the pain and just kind of the loss you experienced with that incident of being electrocuted. It's now 11 years later.
Yeah.
You know, when you look back to how far you've come, tell us a bit about what you have been up to.
Well, after I finished my high school, I furthered my studies and I went to sixth form. And after I graduated, I continued my education and I did my undergrad, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree. And after obtaining that degree, I have always had the dream of becoming a doctor. And I found out about this scholarship that was being offered for Belizeans, and I applied. And I was fortunate enough and blessed to be one of the recipients.
Yeah. Now you have overcome, I mean, challenges that none of us would dare to imagine, from dealing with the severity of the burns, the recovery, adjusting to a new life with disability, or with different ability, I should say. All of this has been a process. What do you think is the driver behind your determination to still continue on the path for your career?
Well, I remember when you interviewed me and you asked me that same question, and I told you that I can do everything through Christ who strengthens me. And that has been my motto ever since. And I believe that He has been the one who gives me the courage and the strength to continue my life as any other one. And I think that another part of that motivation is my family. They have given me the strength, the motivation, that push for me to continue on whatever I want to do. They don't see me as a disabled person. They see me for my capacity, for my abilities, and they push me to do that. And I just trust in them. They trust in me, and we're a team, and that's how we have been working. And that's how, fundamentally, it has been God and my family.
And what inspired you to pursue this particular field of study?
Well, this is a funny story. Before I was conceived, my parents prayed for me, and they had always asked God for me to become a doctor. But it was when I was 4 years old. You know, in school, in primary school, they have this career day, open day, and they asked me what I wanted to be and to dress whatever you see yourself in the future. And I dressed as a doctor. And I had always had that dream of becoming a doctor. But when I had my accident, that's when I definitely knew for a fact that is definitely what I want to do. And specifically, a plastic surgeon, a reconstructive plastic surgeon. So that dream has been coming from ever since, and I never stopped. I continue pushing for that.
So it must feel really great to actually be, such a big step closer to, your childhood dream.
Yes, it has. It has been definitely.
When you've had such a life-changing experience as you have, and both in just how traumatic it is, but also how it's physically changed what used to be your capacity before. It's very easy to be tied to just that one thing. How do you put it into perspective? Is this kind of the experience that shapes who Damari is today, or is that just an obstacle on the path?
I believe that everything happens for a purpose, and everything that we go through somehow shapes us, changes us, and it depends on the person, on how you want that, or what effect you want that to have on you. You want to be a better person, you want to have a positive effect in your life. And I think I try my best to look at the things in a positive manner, in a way that will help me become a better person. And that has always been my perspective on everything and on life.
In this era where, and especially in Belize, where inclusive education there are instances where people with disabilities are in school. We have children who are blind, children who can't hear, children with physical disabilities, but it's not as common. Tell me about, moving into getting your higher education, and what it's been like when people realize that in fact, you are wearing a prosthetic, or that you have lost a limb.
Thank you for asking that question, because it is very important. After my accident, I went back to Escuela Mexico. That's where I did my high school.
Yeah.
And I remember that the school did an amazing job accommodating me. For a Fort Farmer, all the classes were upstairs. But when I went there, all the sidewalks were fixed to accommodate to my needs, and all the classrooms were on the lower floor, so that I don't have to go up the stairs. So they did an excellent job trying to accommodate according to my needs. When I went to sixth form, I did have that struggle, because most of my classes were upstairs, and there were days that my classes were upstairs and downstairs. So I would have to go up the stairs every day, sometimes 3-4 times a day. I would have to go up that stairs, up and down. And it was a struggle, because it can be very tiresome for me. I have an above knee leg amputation, and the prosthetic has its weight. So it was very difficult, but I had to push on. I wanted to succeed, so I had to do what I had to do. The accommodation wasn't there. The school did not do that fixing for me. When I went to do my bachelor's degree, it was, again, another challenge. I remember that they asked, do you have any disability? Do you need any accommodation? And I filled out all the forms. I had to get the doctor to say that, in fact, I am a disabled person and that I need the accommodations. And I sent it to the school. And to my knowledge, everything was set that I was going to go to the school, I would get the accommodation I needed. But surprisingly enough, when I got there, that was not the case. Again, my dorm was on the second floor, and there was no ladder, so I had to go, there was no elevator, so I had to go up and down that stairs. And my classes where I went to study, it was very, very hard, because the classes were on top of the mountain. So I had to go up that mountain with my prosthetic. And I remember after 1 year being there, my prosthetic was very damaged, because I had a lot of, I used it a lot, and it was difficult, very difficult. And it didn't matter how much I asked to get the accommodation, it wasn't really given to me. And if I wanted certain stuff, I would have to pay for it, or I would have to get it myself. It was very difficult. And that definitely affected a lot during my academic time there, because you have to adjust to the difficulty, the lack of accessibility, and at the same time, you have to focus on your classes, on school. So it was a struggle.
I can't imagine because it takes pushing through physical pain as well as ensuring that you can still keep up with the academics, the lessons that you're taking on. But one thing I know about you is that you are extremely determined in whatever you undertake. How does that, I mean, how does it resonate with people who go to school with you? Do you think they develop the level of empathy that they can then become agents for change for more inclusive settings?
I think there is a lot yet to get to that point. Because when I was going to Sixth Farm, I had to take the bus from San Jose to Corozal. And by the time the bus gets here in San Jose, it was full. It was filled with students. There was no space. And I would have to go standing up from here all the way to school. And that's about an hour drive, standing up, having a prosthetic. And you would think that some of the people there would empathize with me. And the thing is that sometimes there were even teachers there. There were people who had education that you would expect them to have more knowledge of people with disability, but that wasn't the case. And when I went to do my undergrad, I had two roommates, and it was also a difficult time because not everyone understands the needs a disabled person has. It became a little bit uncomfortable with certain situations. And you would think at that level, they would have a little bit of knowledge, of understanding, but it wasn't always the case. It has been difficult. We have progressed a lot, but there is still that space, that situation that needs to be fixed. And I have struggled with it, and I'm pretty sure that many other students who are disabled go through the same or more difficult situations. And like I said, Escuela Mexico did an amazing job accommodating for me, but I did not have that same accommodations in all the other schools that I have been.
Yeah, that's and thank you for saying it publicly, because that's the only way we can get kind of the momentum going for the type of change that is necessary. Do you think that it would in fact be something that dissuades people with disabilities from pursuing higher education?
Yes, I think it can be a hindrance because, okay, at least for me, I had my prosthetic that gives me that independence, but some people are wheelchair bound. And the situation is completely different. They cannot have that accessibility as easier as I have it. So it definitely puts an obstacle to these students with disability. They don't have that freedom. They don't feel that they would be given that opportunity because of their situation.
So let's shift gears now, and I do hope that people hear what you speak of and the experience that you've had, because you're right. Where you have the prosthetic to be able to get up and move physically, people who are bound to a wheelchair, it's a whole different situation for them as well. And there's nothing. It's not about having. I remember in school, if someone was in a wheelchair, you'd have the students lift them and take them into the classroom or up the stairs, but that's not the way that we want to go. You want to create a space where they have access. But let's talk about your journey to Taiwan now and what this represents for you pursuing your medical degree.
Sorry, repeat the question again.
I was saying your journey to Taiwan now that you have found out that you are going to be going to Taiwan. What is it like for you, and what are your hopes for when you get there?
Well, when I received the scholarship, I was very excited. I was nervous. I was scared because, again, being a disabled person, you don't always get that opportunity. So I was scared that would be a hindrance in me getting my scholarship. But when I saw my name on the list, I was very thrilled. And I said, okay, well, this is another journey that I need to embark on, and I'm ready for it. And I think that while I don't have much knowledge of Taiwan as to how it is, I think it's going to be a great experience. I think that it's going to prepare me academically to become a doctor, because I think it is important for a doctor to be acquainted with different cultures, different people, and adjust to different patients. So that definitely will boost my ability to be better at what I want to be.
Nice.
And are there any or is there anything in particular about Taiwan that you're looking forward to, or that you might be nervous about?
The language.
Yep. Thought that was going to be your answer.
The language. I don't speak any Mandarin. I have no knowledge of that language, so that is the most scary part of all this.
And how's your family doing? I know you're really close with your family. They're used to you being away?
They're nervous, and they keep saying, we're gonna miss you, but they're very happy that I got this opportunity, and they just want me to succeed in everything I do. So I am very glad that they trust in me and that they push me to do what I want to do.
You know, just so you know, there's another doctor who's wheelchair bound, a Belizean as well, Dr. Einstein Bowden, who was able to get you know about him. Tell me.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I keep in touch with him. He actually was one of my mentors through this application process.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I met, well, he was just Einstein then, before he was Dr. Bowden in Trinidad, and it was inspirational then, and you are going to be an inspiration for others as well. It's not just about the fact that you have a disability and you're becoming a doctor, but just that you're able to push through challenging circumstances. And in a world where, you know, things are a bit more challenging simply because it's not retrofitted to your needs.
Yeah.
What do you want? How do you share your message of inspiration with others? What do you want to say to people who watch this and say, wow, look what she's done?
Well, first of all, keep God in your life. I think that has always been the reason why I succeed at everything I do, because God has been everything for me, and He has given me the ability to do things that I never thought I would be able to do. But also trust in yourself. If you have a dream, pursue it. It doesn't matter if you have a disability, just give it a try. You will never know what doors will open. You don't know what you will be able to accomplish if you don't try. So do what you want to do and pursue it, and always believe in yourself, and always have a support group behind you to motivate you, to encourage you. And again, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
Oh. Well, Damari, when do you head off to Taiwan?
We don't have the exact dates as yet. We don't know. I haven't been informed of that.
Okay. Well, we are glad we got to talk to you and just hear about what this latest accomplishment means for you. Definitely proud and looking forward to the day you come back as a doctor.
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck and stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take our final break. And when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up.